So we're here, we're gonna watch The Crow for the first time. It's been how long? Almost 20 years. So it just came out. It's actually supposed to come out tomorrow, but luckily we found some tickets for today, and we're gonna get an early viewing. So hopefully it's gonna be good. I'm really excited. So I haven't watched The Crow for at least a good 15, almost 20 years. I'm only 24, so you know I really gotta watch this one. I gotta see what it's about. I'm gonna actually rewatch the old one after this and compare it to see which one I like better, but we're gonna see what we like.
When someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. But sometimes something so bad happens that the soul cannot rest. Until you put the wrong things right. You were given the power of a god. But you're running out of time to save her. You have no idea what hell awaits you. No, I do.
How many people have you loved?
I'll never be alone.
So we just saw The Crow. I gotta say, I have very mixed feelings about this. I'll start off with some positive points. I'd say cinematically, the movie was well done. I could tell that they put a lot of money towards production and the team and who they got behind the camera and all the equipment they were using. I'd say that kind of brings me to the bad part of the film where it lacked a few, I'd say, key details in terms of writing and, you know, I say keeping the audience's attention also, because it felt like such a short, like long burn to get to the main point of the story. I feel like they could have dumbed it down a little bit and then kind of excelled in other places in the movie. But overall, I'm gonna have to give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. And honestly, if it really wasn't for the production value that they had on the film, it would be really lower. You know, they should have put more money towards, I'd say, better actors. What I loved about the film was the cinematography. I liked the production value of it all. I think that the set design was really good. I think the location was really good. I think, you know, them using film was also a big thing, because, you know, you don't see that nowadays. What I hated about this film, and hate's a strong word, but what I disliked about the film was it was a very slow burn. The acting was a little subpar. I felt like they could have, you know, taken some money away from the production value and added that to getting a better actor. Actors feel about the action in this film. It was, I say, lackluster to say the least. I feel like they didn't put that much effort to be creative. It felt like chop here, chop there, gunshot here, gunshot there. I think, you know, they were leading it off to give the audience like, oh, you know, he can't die. He can take a lot of, you know, hits. You know, and he can still keep walking and taking down all these guys. I just feel like they could have been a little more creative in terms of action and, you know, some of the choreography. The biggest action sequence in the whole film, again, I felt lackluster. I felt like chop here, chop there. It wasn't very creative in terms of choreography, but I'd say what it did have was that kind of Quentin Tarantino, like blood everywhere, you know, it's chopped up gore, you know, some things you don't see, some things that add shock value to death. So I think they went with that a little more instead of actually getting maybe a more solid stunt choreographer actually to be a little more creative with the way the Crow kills all these guys. I think the Crow had all the potential in the world. I think it had the money. It just wasn't executed the way I wanted it to be personally. I think there's things they could have fixed, but it's easy to say that when you're watching it in the big screen. Even though there was a lot I disliked about the movie, I think it's still worth the watch. I mean, cinematically and production value wise, it's really good. I mean, they spend a lot of money, you can tell. I feel like that's where a lot of money went. I feel like that money could have went to maybe some better actors, maybe some known names that, you know, we can relate to and we know and love, you know? I feel like the fighting was very mediocre. I feel like even though they didn't display that he had any fighting background or any martial arts background, it just still could have been something where they could have added it to the writing or to the story or to the lore, that, you know, he knew what to do. Because even though the movie was a slow burn, I really didn't mind it. The real issue was that by the time we got to the end and where we get to the big action sequences and the big reveal to what was happening in the story all along, just seemed like it fell short. You know, you know, with the money that they put in, as you can tell if you watch the film, they could have added, they had more than enough resources to add this to the film. I thought they could have been a little more creative in the fighting. They needed, you know, even creative in the gunplay. You know, they could have gave him like a military background in the story, maybe give him something that we can look forward to in terms of action, and, you know, the big reveal where, you know, this big fight scene at the end at the Coliseum. So we finished watching The Crow. We're actually gonna go home now, watch the original version of Crow, so I can have a better understanding of what I can compare and contrast from those two films, even though they have the same storyline. I'd love to know what you guys think about it. I'm gonna give you my opinion on the next video. See you guys soon.